Dear elder sister, for this book, I listened to the presenter and I'll take time to read that book. If I had known when you were campaigning for governor, I would have opted for that office of Commissioner for Kola North. Because you know, in Igbo land, they give Kola North with money. So they will give you money to take and break the Kola North. So I would have been a very rich person. I would have collected enough money. Thank you for this wonderful documentary. That's what we all want people to document so that younger ones can learn, especially in a society where it is difficult for the young ones to have people to emulate, people to look forward to, and everything. Writing like this makes all the difference. When I was looking at this young lady who was there in the news and everything, and knowing the history of how Newsline started is interesting. So I'll say congrats. Be rest assured, I will launch the book, I'll present it, I'll be part of it, I'll make sure it's circulated, and you will hear from, today is Monday, so you will hear from me before the weekend. So I thank you, and may God bless all of you.
Lady Chris Anyanwu, three things stand out. Chris is a very resilient person. I don't know whether that word failure is ever associated with her. I don't think so. Even this husband here, Cass Anyanwu, will attest to that. I've been their family physician in Lagos. I think 81 Cass, since 81, 82 and up, where you were in Continent, Merchant Bank. And thereafter, Progress Bank and the rest of them. When Chris was in NTA and reporting, especially from the petroleum desk, it was something else. Because there was price war in oil at that time. I remember in Lagos. She was reporting like Christiana Mampo and namesake, as if there is a war in the oil field, like the price war. When she was in National Assembly, she reported in National Assembly. I don't know whether she's not given that one prominence. She reported in National Assembly. I was physician to the National Assembly at that time. So we were all coming into the chambers, and by evening we were rushing to see what Chris Anyanwu would report about today's event. The Senate, she was covering the Senate. And wonderful job again. No failure, nothing. She reports everything. Including the ones that you should not report, she will report. When she reports that one, you say, where else? You say, this woman, I thought we are friends with her. I was so glad, that's what she is. Bad news is good news. That's what the press people will tell you. They report bad things, and that is what that makes headlines. That's what everybody is interested in. So, Chris, we thank God for you that we got in this way. We thank God that you also went to jail. I don't know what that jail has done. No. This is the first time I saw a woman name among coup plotters. So, yes. Coup plotters are military men. What that you see? I don't even see officer women. But we saw a journalist there. We said this one, what I don't pass Gabriel. Luckily, she came out alive. If she had been shot, she would have been the first woman to be shot for coup in Nigeria. Again, history. So Chris traced the path of history. I decided I must come to this launch. I came back last weekend from the US. I assured her I would come. I came for her and Ifeanyi, my friend, who was buried last weekend. So, Chris, thank you for this book. I've not read it, but I've just glanced through the pictures. I asked Post Mustafa, and I was looking. I didn't see Mandela's visit to Nigeria. You were there. TSM was there. You were the few magazines let in to cover Mandela. I was physician to Mandela. He wasn't president, just a prisoner just released. And he visited Nigeria then. And President Babangida welcomed him. We went to Otafam to see President Obasanjo, that was general, in a helicopter. And when we got there, we saw TSM people there, even though it was a secret. So, Chris has our own way of operating. And later on, TSM was the major magazine that carried that visit. That will show you who Chris is or whatever she wants to get. If you put roadblock, I don't know whether she will put underground tunnel and pass as well there. So it's something that we have all to celebrate. I don't want to talk about the exploit in the Senate. We were all together in the 7th Senate, and we know the stuff the woman is. In fact, is November gone? November used to call her my man Chris. My man distinguished Chris. That's what we all call her. Some of us who want to pinch her, we call her distinguished my man Chris. So Chris is more than some men. Not be saying when I get this other long thing. Chris is something else. That's all I can say. I will take this book and give to people in my constituency, in the girls' schools in my constituency, so that I will know whether they can transform some of them into amazing, like Chris. I will take 50 copies. I'll take it. And I will give you my check before I leave here. I'll give you my check. So God bless you, bless the family, and bless your media outfit. Thank you.
I've seen a lot of faces here. And I've seen the compliments and the narrative about her life. But what I'm going to tell you here is a little story on how Senator Chris Anyanwu fared while she was in prison. You have seen Chris Anyanwu in the Senate, but you have not seen her, how she fared in Kirikiri prison. We wore the same handcuff with Chris Anyanwu. We were in the same Black Maria with Chris Anyanwu. Unfortunately, when we are in Kirikiri prison, she is in the female wing and I'm in the male wing, so we can't be in the same cell. We were also in military underground cell with Chris Anyanwu. So I've seen what many have not seen. At a certain time, I have to warn her not to cause much problem for us in prison. Because she was trying to fight with the prison warders and try to fight with even the military who are keeping us in the underground cell. I don't know of any woman in Nigeria who have paid a price for freedom and democracy like Chris Anyanwu. When in 1995 we were arrested and brought to Lagos, along with President Olusegun Obasanjo and the late Sheikh Musa Yar'Adua. I have been reading about her and we have been relating as a journalist and an activist, but that was the first time I saw her when she was asked to bring her hand for handcuffs. And at that point she protested. For those of us who are not so big, it is very simple to put a handcuff on me, and if they are not seeing me, I will remove it. Because in the prison we were taught how to use soap and water and remove handcuff from your hands. Anyanwu was a woman of courage, and she was a woman of conviction. And most importantly, when she was in that period, she inspired a lot of prisoners and helped them in their lives. I can remember an incident that happened. When we were taken to prison, and then later taken to a military tribunal, we thought that it was a normal court of law, where you bring your lawyer to argue, and the prosecution will state his case, and then adjournment taken, and then arguments are done based on the facts on the ground. But when they brought us together before the military tribunal, they gave our defense counsel 5 minutes to defend us. And they gave the prosecution 5 minutes to read our case. And in 5 minutes' time, we were all sentenced to life in prison. She got life sentence, and Obasanjo got a life sentence. General Shehu got a death sentence. All the military men who are together with us were all given various length of sentences from death to life. I think I got additional sentence. When I was sentenced to life, I was also sentenced to 7 years for managing an illegal organization together with late Dr. Bekuraza. So before we went out of the court, since they give us double life, so we asked the judge, which one are we going to start? Is it the first life or the second life? He said because of that, he has added more sentence to us. Now, you need to see how she was at that very time. When people are taken to prison, and people you thought that are very courageous and strong, you see them breaking down. The fear of the kind of people you meet in prison, and also the psychological trauma of the years you are going to spend in prison. Because by the time you are sentenced to life in prison, the moment you come into the prison, there is no discrimination that this one is sentenced to life for political offense, this one is sentenced to life for armed robbery. The issue is that once you are convicted, you are a convict. So you and the armed robbers and hired assassins and all those, you are of the same category. Surprisingly, many of the military men who were supposed to demonstrate courage when they were giving their sentences, it was Chris that was encouraging them, that was boosting their morale, and was telling them that freedom will come. For the first time, you see, a handcuff just looked like a metal, like this, not weighing more than 1 kilogram. But by the time it's clipped on your hands, it's more than a bag of cement weight. How we will all be in a black barrier, peeping through the window to see people moving around. And yet, she was encouraging those of us who are inside that to remain strong, that there will be the light at the end of the day. And it happened. The saddest thing for most of us was that after we were all convicted by the military tribunal, they decided that those of us from the north would be sent to southern prisons, and those of them from the south will be sent to northern prison. I think that's how she found herself in the prison in the northeastern part of Nigeria. And I was sent to Port Harcourt prison. While in Port Harcourt prison, I wrote an article that was published outside, and then they transferred me from Port Harcourt to Aba prison in Abia State. I've never been to Aba. I went straight to the prison. In Aba prison was where I completed my hunting. And I think she was moved from Gombe to Kaduna prison, was it? You have forgotten. Okay. Just. So after Gombe, Bekorasan Kuti was sent to Kaduna prison. I think Obasanjo was sent to, was it, Jos, and later to Yola or something like that. So that is how we were all sent to different prisons, and either fortunately or unfortunately, while I was in Port Harcourt prison, I witnessed the execution of Skensabri. So, but it is better for you to be in prison than to be. I thought prison was the worst place you should be. But when we went to that Park Lane military underground cell in Apapa, you will be begging to go back to prison and stay where you can meet people. Despite that, they will give you the best of food and the best of place to live, to stay. But in terms of communication with outside world, if you are in a military cell, it's as if you are in a bottle. There is no way for you to maneuver your way and contact people outside. So, she has inspired a lot of women who were all there as convicts and awaiting trial. How she differed from many people is that when we were taken there, Obasanjo said, the moment we entered, and because the moment you get into prison, they will give you your blanket and your plates. And they will allocate your bed space for you. And then you will now be introduced to the president and commander-in-chief of the prison, who will read the law of that prison for you. Whether you are a big man or whatever man you are, you'll be told that keep that outside and you are here. And there is a new republic inside this. And unfortunately, there are things which you can't learn from outside into when you're there. There was a day we were sitting down with me and Obasanjo and the late Herano. And you can imagine what prison is. You will see a recruit telling you, you better move back to your cell or before I kill you. And you can't tell him you are a former head of state. You don't have to move. So, the insult and the insolence we faced in that condition enriched our thought and strengthened us, because in most times, when people go to prison, I think that is why when we are in the Senate, we change it to correctional rules. You don't get any form of correction. If you go there as a pickpocket, you are likely to graduate as an armed robber. Because you meet people there who are armed robbers. And if you go there as a freedom fighter, you are likely to graduate as a bigger freedom fighter. Chris Anyanwu, I will always say she has not been appreciated by the Nigerian state. She is yet to be appreciated for the sacrifice and the struggle and the investment she made in the struggle for democracy and for freedom of this country. And I think if I have an advice to give, the first advice to whoever will be in position of power, place Senator Chris Anyanwu, the Ministry of Interior, where she can address the problems of the Nigerian prisons. Thank you very much.